Hello friends, we are here with 8 books to talk about today. Today's video is going to be YA books that I think are actually worth it. Because guess what, some of them aren't. Some of them are. I love me a YA book. I have tons on my TBR to read. But here's a list of the 8 that I have read. Most of these in this past year. 2 of them I read last year. But I read the rest of them in this past year. And they were all rated very high by me, 4 or 5 stars. And I think are super worth, despite being YA. First we will go with Awake by Natasha Preston. This book was a recommendation by my sister, and she gave it to me saying that I was probably gonna hate the ending. It says young adult fiction ages 16 and up on the back. Okay, so in this book, it is a thriller, so I'm not gonna talk a ton about what it's about, but we have our main girl, Scarlett, and basically she doesn't have any memories from before the age of 4. All she really remembers is that there was a fire and she had to fight for her life to get out of there. And through this book, she's working to try to remember what happened. And you're going back and forth between her and her love interest, Noah, to figure out really what went down. And I'm literally going to leave it at that. The like synopsis on the back is so short, so I don't want to give anything away. But I've read one other Natasha Preston since this, and the ending was so stupid. This one I was actually quite satisfied with the ending, so I do recommend. Next up, we've got Dungeons and Drama by Christy Boyce. The second book to this series is coming out, I believe, next year, and I cannot wait. This is about our girl named Riley, and Riley always dreams about being on Broadway and singing and dancing and XYZ, and she's almost like defying her parents and doing bad in school because she's trying so hard to focus on Broadway, and as a punishment she's forced to drop out of the school play and doing any of this stuff, and she has to work at her dad's board game store, which I love board games. I have a whole room in my house that I refer to as the nerd room with all my board games. I love D&D. We play every week. Literally, as I'm filming this, tomorrow is D&D. So like that whole like is so good. And basically through working at her dad's store, she's trying to like win back the good graces of her parents. And she starts to kind of have a crush on one of the guys who works there. Her and Nathan end up fake dating to get this guy, her ex-boyfriend Paul, jealous, and to also help make Nathan's crush jealous. And through this, she starts playing D&D, and she plays as a bard. And if you aren't familiar with D&D, a bard is literally the D&D equivalent to a Broadway performer. They're the entertainer. They are singing. They are dancing. They play instruments. And so, like, the whole vibe of that is so cute. There were so many board game references that I loved. Love this one. Next, we've got Love and Gelato. I did really like this book. The other books in this series are very long. I will let you know that. But this is about a girl named Lena, and she's going to be spending her summer in Italy. Her mom has died and she never knew her dad, but her mom's dying wish was for her to go like stay in Italy. And she has her mom's journal, and through this you're like reading passages of her mom's journal about her mom's time when she lived in Italy, and she's uncovering the magic of the world that her mom loved there, as well as trying to figure out the truth about who her father is. So very cute, love that. Then this one's very popular, and it is The Naturals by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. This is, as everybody describes it, Criminal Minds, but teenagers. There is our main girl, Cassie, and she is recruited by the FBI to come work for their Naturals program. She is going to be a profiler. There's like a profiler, there's somebody who's like a professional liar. There's 2 profilers. I don't remember all of their different abilities, but they like work together to solve crime. Super interesting, super fun. Couldn't talk about YA books without talking about Lynn Painter. I have the like sprayed edge version of Better Than the Movies. This is about Liz and Wes, and basically Wes is trying to help Liz impress this guy at their school. He used to live there and then he moves back, since Michael, and she is trying to impress him and get him to fall for her, but in the meantime her and Wes are falling for each other. And it's called Better Than the Movies, and at the top of each chapter there's a quote from like a different famous rom-com. Super cute. Next, we've got Check and Mate by Ali Hazelwood. This is the first Ali Hazelwood I ever read. I've only read one other, and that was The Love Hypothesis, and I didn't think it was very good. So I'm going to be sad if this is the only Ali Hazelwood that I like, because I loved this. This is about Mallory, and she and her dad used to do chess together. And then things happen with her dad, and she ends up deciding she's not going to play chess anymore. She needs to focus on helping her mom and her sister. Her dad left, I believe. I don't think he died. I think he left. the sport led to her family's destruction. So she needs to focus on her mom and her sister, and she has like a job that she's trying to work while going to school to keep the lights on. And basically, because she needs the money, she agrees to play like some sort of chess match, and it catches the eye of Nolan, the king killer, who is like the top chess player there ever was. And through this, she basically gets like a job playing chess, and it's paying really good money and helping her take care of her family. And it's about her and Nolan. Super cute. The next two are, I think, more like ones you may not have heard of. We have got The Rise of Kyoshi, which is an Avatar. It's book 1 in the Avatar: The Last Airbender Chronicles. If you know nothing about Avatar: The Last Airbender, I do not recommend this, but as a lover of Avatar: The Last Airbender, and I spoke to my friend Ariel about this book because I know she loves Avatar: The Last Airbender, she loved this book. The first 2 books in this series, so good. Book 3, we don't talk about her. That's as far as I've gotten so far, but this is basically, you're going back in time and learning about the different avatars that lived before, and this is about Kyoshi in her childhood before she becomes the famous, wonderful avatar that she was. And yeah, it's about the rise of Kyoshi. There's really nothing more to say, because if you don't know anything about Avatar, anything I say will be gibberish. And the last one, which is I think the #1 most underrated book in this video, because I've literally never heard anybody talk about it but me, and that is The One That Got Away with Murder by Trish Lundy. I view this book as a better version of The Good Girl's Guide to Murder. It's kind of like a similar premise, but like, in my opinion, done better. This is about Lauren, and something happened with Lauren's old boyfriend, her old school, where they had to move away. And she moves away to this new town, and she befriends these 2 boys, Robbie and Trevor, and they have kind of a reputation of being rich and privileged and can basically get away with whatever they want, but they have a reputation that both of their girlfriends disappeared and died. So in this, our main girl Lauren is trying to uncover what really happened to these girls and if these guys are actually dangerous, because as she befriends them and sees how like absolutely devastated they are about the loss of these girls, she struggles with believing that they had something to do with it. But yeah, that is The One That Got Away with Murder. And those are all the books, as the lighting gets worse and worse as we go, that we're going to go over today about the YA books that I think are worth the read. Let me know if you've read any of these, if you're going to pick them up. I would love to hear about it. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.